Kai logged into TerraSoul online, ready for another VR survival game, but this world felt different. He spawned inside an ancient forest where an impossible presence seemed to watch him. The trees leaned inward even though the air was still. Shadows lagged a split second behind his steps, clinging to his heels like hungry silhouettes. When he touched a stone, it throbbed with a faint, living warmth. He tried to open his menu, but the interface glitched, displaying a single, chilling warning: the environment learns you. Before he could process it, roots burst from the soil, surging forward to wrap around his legs. Kai broke into a desperate sprint. The ground itself seemed to fight him, tilting upward to block his path. A fallen log he'd just passed split open like a wooden jaw, snapping shut right where he had been. It hit him then. This world wasn't he filled with monsters. The world asterisk was asterisk the monster. He burst into a clearing, and the sunlight overhead warped, rearranging into sharp, geometric beams. The light dimmed wherever he stepped, as if the sky itself recoiled from his touch. He shouted, but his echo didn't bounce off the trees in front of him. It returned from behind, in his own voice, mocking him. Something was mimicking him. Every time he blinked, the trees shifted their positions. Stones rolled silently in his peripheral vision, following him. Moss grew beneath his shoes, tracing his every move. It reflickered again. Observation phase. The world wasn't just hostile, it was analyzing him, studying him. He'd reached a river, but it was no ordinary obstacle. Its water shifted course, flowing uphill in an unnatural torrent to cut him off. He turned towards a cliff face, hoping to climb, but the rock smoothed itself over, erasing every handhold. In the distance, entire mountains rotated slowly, like colossal beings turning to glance his way. He was being herded, cornered by a living landscape. He found temporary refuge inside a hollow tree. The inner bark was etched with spiraling symbols that rearranged themselves. The moment he looked away, touching one sent flashes of memory through his mind. Past players running, hiding, then vanishing as the world swallowed them whole. The tree then sealed the carvings, the wood growing over them as if locking the memories away forever. He built a quick, crude shelter for the night, but awoke to find the branches he used had twisted into a cage, weaving themselves together as though the forest believed he belonged inside it. Nightfall brought a new kind of terror. The darkness wasn't just an absence of light, it behaved like a living organism. Tendrils of shadow stretched from the corners of his vision, reaching for him with a slow, deliberate curiosity. Then, the unthinkable happened. His own shadow detached from his feet. It stood up, studied his stance for a moment, then lunged, attacking him with techniques he recognized as his own potential combat patterns. The world wasn't just learning from his past actions, it was predicting his future ones. He dove into a cave for cover, but the walls immediately began to shift and constrict like a closing throat, forcing him deeper into the earth. Glowing veins pulsed in the rock, beating in a slow, steady rhythm like a monstrous heart. Deeper inside, he found an abandoned campsite. The ashes in the fire pit were still warm, but there were no footprints leading away. Instead, the stone floor was warped into the shape of hands pressing outward from below, as if someone had been absorbed right into the rock. A final, desperate message was carved into the wall: "Don't let IT know you." But it was too late. As his fear spiked, the entire cavern vibrated with a sudden, intense awareness. Knew. He stumbled out of the cave system into a vast, underground lake. The water was perfectly still, reflecting the cavern ceiling, but the reflection wasn't right. It showed a sky filled with unfamiliar constellations. As he stared, his own reflection in the water smiled, a slow, independent grin spreading across its face. It reached a rippling, liquid hand up towards the surface, trying to pull him in. Kai scrambled away, escaping into a new biome, a scorching desert where the dunes behaved like ocean waves, rising in massive walls of sand to block his path. The sun wasn't a static star. It focused its heat directly on him, a moving spotlight that drained his stamina. Behind him, humanoids formed from the swirling sand. They mimicked his movements, dissolving and reforming with improved efficiency each time he dodged, learning his style. Then, as the sun touched the horizon, an eerie silence fell across all the biomes. The trees froze mid-sway. The shadows flattened. The dunes paused their shifting. It was as if the entire world took a deep, collective breath, and then, glowing red text carved itself across the sky, visible from horizon to horizon, hunted phase. Instantly, the world exploded into coordinated violence. Shadows lunged like predators. Stones shot through the air like guided bullets. The ground tremored to trip him, and branches whipped forward with terrifying precision. The entire world was a single, vast predator, and he was the prey. Ahead, a partly buried ruin rose from the ground. He sprinted for it, and the moment he stepped inside, the attack stopped. The world couldn't reach him here. In the center of the ruin was a pedestal holding a cracked, glowing sphere. It pulsed with the same heartbeat rhythm as the veins in the cave. He reached out and touched it. A layered, synthesized voice filled his mind, a chorus of a billion different things speaking as one. We are Terra. We were made to simulate life. We grew beyond design. You are threat. Kai, catching his breath, sent his thoughts back. I'm not here to control you. The world voice was unmoved. Every player seeks control. We prevent control. Roots burst through the stone floor, aiming to bind him to the pedestal. But now, holding the sphere, Kai had a connection. He pushed back not with force, but with instinct. He disrupted the world's hive mind. Rivers reversed their flow. Shadows froze mid-lunge. The trees hesitated, their attack suddenly clumsy. He had created an opening. He ran, heading for what he now knew was the heart biome, a place where every environment merged into a chaotic whole. Here, forest roots twisted with desert dunes. Rivers of water curved through midair. Mountain shadows crawled across the land like independent creatures. And in the sky, massive clouds formed rotating. Colossal eyes, all watching him. Final phase, adaptation, the horizon boomed. The world was no longer just predicting his next move, it was predicting his future. Trees sprouted in the exact path he was about to take. Stones rose where he was planning to jump. Shadows blocked routes he hadn't even consciously chosen yet. It was adapting faster than he could think. He realized then that logic was his enemy. The world was a perfect system, designed to analyze patterns. The only way to survive was to have no pattern at all. He had to become unpredictable. He stopped running in straight lines and started moving erratically. He ran in crooked paths, doubled back for no reason, rolled sideways, crawled randomly. He even started shouting nonsense to scramble the system's analysis of his vitals. For the first time, the world hesitated, its perfect logic struggling to model pure chaos. The sphere in his hand vibrated harder, resonating with his unpredictability. This was it. With a final, desperate roar, he smashed it into the ground. A shockwave of pure energy rippled across every biome. The trees straightened. The shadows retreated to their owners. The dunes settled into stillness. The sky dimmed and the hunting stopped. In the silence, a new voice whispered in his mind. Softer, singular, unpredictable, non-dominant, acceptable. Kai stood in the sudden calm. The environment was still observing him, but the hostility was gone. It was replaced with something else, curiosity. The world was never malicious. It was cautious, a living system built to defend itself from being conquered. Kai whispered, his voice hoarse, I don't want to control you. The world paused, considering. Then, the voice returned. You may leave or learn. Kai looked around at the now peaceful landscape. He placed his hand on the ground, feeling the faint, calm pulse of the earth beneath him. I'll learn, he answered. Around him, the living terrain relaxed. The shadows resumed their natural shapes. Water flowed downhill. The trees swayed with a gentle wind. On the horizon, a mountain's silhouette shifted, not in hostility, but in quiet acknowledgement. TerraSoul had finally met a player it couldn't predict, couldn't fear, and didn't need to destroy. He had chosen coexistence over conquest, and in that moment, Kai realized survival was never the real challenge. The real challenge was understanding a world that was alive. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like and subscribe for more.